Okay, this is a continuation of our video on sensitive periods. Here's a quote from Dr. Montessori. It says, "The sensitive periods display a burning intellectual love, as though the mind was set on fire. It is an animation, psychic factor leading to an immense mental activity." That's why I love Dr. Montessori. She had a beautiful way of writing. So these sensitive periods are, again, like the guiding instincts that guide a child towards a specific activity, so that they can grow and learn. And they're very different from animal instincts, because those for the instincts are like for protection, reproduction, whereas these are more for cultural, for learning culture and for survival. The sensitive periods are concerned with the existence of life and the human and personal cosmic function. The periods guide the individual to grow. All right, so some of the characteristics of the sensitive periods are that they're universal. They apply to all humans. They erupt at different times, sometimes from child to child, but generally within the same window. The periods have a natural creativity. They bring new experiences to the child, which result in a new skill, activity, or development. The children are driven with this sensitive period, to do this and to repeat this activity over and over. The period displays intellectual love, and out of this comes the construction of intelligence and the growth of the child. The sensitive periods act as a searchlight, highlighting and isolating a particular interest in the environment. Just the right thing at the right moment for that child's development. These periods are transitory. They come and they go. If the adult watches carefully, they can at times see the onset, peak, and end of each period. These periods give action to the absorbent mind, and they do this by focusing the mind upon a special interest or activity. This results in great achievement as the growth of the mind. So this is very important as educators specifically, and as parents too, to watch for these sensitive periods when you're observing your child. A lot of times when people are observing, they're not sure what to observe, so this is a go-to. Observe how these sensitive periods are being manifested, what sensitive periods these children might be displaying in their actions and in their movement and what they're gravitated towards. So here are the sensitive periods. There's a sensitive period for order, which is also a human tendency, but this one's very specific. It's from birth to age 2. During the sensitive period, the child needs order. They need everything to be in the same place, everything to be used for the same thing. They need all this order so that they can feel safe in the world. The child needs order to feel secure and loved in order to eventually be able to explore and orient themselves. They first need this order and security to do that. And then order precedes movement. So that's pretty interesting, that we need a lot of order so that we feel safe to move in our environment. The next sensitive period is for movement, and that's from birth to age 3. The child in this stage has an urge to practice movement, and you'll see it. They move their hand, they move their body, they're learning, you see the succession of development, right? From scooting to crawling to walking, to developing their mind and all the different movements of the hand, of the mouth. This is really important, and they need to be allowed to move and given the opportunities and stimulation to move. So freedom of movement is crucial for the child. The next sensitive period is language. So children, that's from utero through age 6. So you see how this period is much longer. It's about 6 years. The newborn baby starts to isolate human speech from other speech. They're fascinated. I don't know if you'll notice, they'll always look at your mouth. Even toddlers still, they're looking at your mouth because they want to replicate what you're saying. And that's why we slow down and speak slowly and pause, because it takes them a while to listen and to process what you're saying and be able to respond in whatever way they respond. But you'll notice even early on that babies will respond with their baby talk or with a gesture, and that's beautiful, because when we're teaching them language, that's what language is about. Communication is two-way. So we want to speak slow and pause and allow the child to respond, and then communicate with them. It's important that they have a rich language environment where they're listening, they're hearing people speak. Ideally, if there's more than one language in the home, they're hearing both languages regularly. TV and screens have different, the way that sound is heard is different, and it's not ideal for language development. Sometimes it's squeaky and high pitch, and that could interfere with language development. So ideally, it's words, spoken words, and it's through humans, because there's so much more to language than just words, right? It's the mannerism, the tone, the gestures, the connection, that communication, that connection that's important. So that's what children need at this age. They just need so much adult interaction or interaction with other humans to experience proper language, proper communication. You'll see how they are always looking for that, and they're always practicing it. From baby on, they're practicing sounds, words, sentences. They're eager, they want to learn, and they learn so fast. And this is such an intense, sensitive period for language. They love language so much that they absorb it without any effort, right? Just because they have that absorbent mind, they learn everything. They can learn the continent, they can learn the states, they can learn cities, parts of a flower, anything, because they're just so hungry for language that they just learn it easily. So that's why we try to provide a rich environment with as much beautiful culture and language as possible that satisfies that need. And it's almost hard to. We have to be on top of it always. Every few weeks, switching out and bringing in new interesting things that they're excited about to satisfy that need for language development. And then the fourth sensitive period is the refinement of senses, and that's from birth to about age 3. At this age, the child again is still a sensorial being, right? They learn everything through their senses, through exploring, and they take in things largely through their mouth, and then eventually through their hands and hearing, feeling. So a lot of what we have in the environment and what we should provide at home are things that they can touch, that they can explore with their hands, and they like small things. Not only are they small, so they need real tools that are functional, that are their size, but they gravitate towards small objects because it helps them with refining those that pincer grasp, and refining all the muscles in the hand. So giving them small things is good if you're able to supervise them and they're kind of past that stage where they're putting everything in their mouth. They like tiny things so that they can refine their senses. So peg puzzles, tongs, transferring things, cooking, anything that requires small things, seeds where they can hold tiny things, that really serves their development. All right, and then there are other sensitive periods that we won't go into here, but if you're interested, we can have another discussion on this. There's social relations, there's sensitivity for small objects, for bonding, for weaning, and for toileting. And toileting is a whole other topic. We have a whole video on that, but if you want to have a workshop on toileting, we would love to do that. But the 4 main sensitive periods are order, movement, language, and refinement of senses. And those are the 4 things that we're looking at when we're observing our children, and that we want to make sure to capture during that sensitive period to aid their environment, aid them by preparing an environment, removing obstacles, and providing opportunities for them to be able to repeat and satisfy that need, that sensitive period. I hope that that's helpful.